When we offer, that is known as bhoga. Lord takes bhoga. Lord does not take prasad. Sometimes say, क्या बना रहे? भगवान के लिए प्रसाद बना रहे. Comes out. But actually भगवान के लिए क्या बना रहे? You should say भोग बना रहे, नैवेद्य बना रहे. When my Prabhuji changed my name to Nivedita, I was just thinking, you offered me to Lord. In marriages, they change, no? In Maharashtra, they changed the name. My name was Prabha. In the marriage, he changed it to Nivedita. What is Nivedana? Nivedita, Naivedya. I was just thinking, offered to Lord. So, Naivedyaha Swadhyaha, whatever offered to Krishna, that is now taken as prasad. Naivedyamannam tulasi vimishram visheshatah pada जलेन सिक्तं योस्नाति नित्यं पुरतो मुरारे प्राप्नोति यज्ञायुत कोटि पुण्यम्. By taking the remnants of the Lord, 86th verse speaks about it. He who always eats outside the inner sanctum, the remnants of the Lord's food, sprinkled with water from the Lord's feet, mixed with tulasi, achieves the results of 100 billion sacrifices. So the phrase Purato Murari, from the temple, Antahapuram, the bhoga is removed from Antahapuram. So after going from or avoiding the temple room of the Lord, then Purata Murari means in front of Murari, but such a meaning is rejected since eating in front of the Lord is an offense. So this meaning is not that you are eating before Lord. You are taking the food outside the Purataha Murari. Purataha. You are taking the food outside the inner center. So Purataha here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Purataha Murare to mean in front of Murari, chewing tambula in front of the Lord would be forbidden. But regular eating is not forbidden in front of the eating. So Vishwanath Thakur says, pan you should not chew before Lord. But in front of the Lord you can eat. Jiva Goswami says no. So every acharya has given their opinions, but actually eating before Lord is an offense. Because we do juta and juta, that is right. Okay, now read, Aditya, read.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna 1.2.160. Atha naivedyasvado yatha padme naivedyam naivedyam annam tulasi vimishram visheshatah padajalena siktam yosnati nityam purato mudare prapnoti yagnayuta koti punyam. Translation: Tasting the food remnants of the deity, verse 86 from Padma Purana. He who always eats outside the inner sanctum, the remnants of the Lord's food, sprinkled with water from the Lord's feet, mixed with tulsi, achieves the result of 100 billion sacrifices. Partaking prasad. There is there is this specific statement in the Padma Puran: a person who honors the prasad and regularly eats it, not exactly in front of the deity, along with Karnamrit, the water offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, which is mixed with the seed of the tulsi tree, immediately can achieve the results of the pious activities that are obtained through 10,000 performances of sacrificial rites. Hare Krishna.
Next. Atha Padyasvado. अथ पाद्यास्वादो यथा तत्रैव न दानं न हवीरेषां स्वाध्यायो न सुरार्चनं तेऽपि पादोदकं पीत्वा प्रयान्ति परमं गतिम्. Taking the foot water of the Lord. That means when you give bath to Lord, you take the Charanamritam. Those who drink the foot water of the Lord achieve the supreme good. even though they have not performed charity, sacrifice, Vedic study, or deity worship. That is why in temples, when anybody comes, first thing what you give, Charanam. They may not have done anything. They don't know how to do deity worship. They may not have given any charity. They may not have studied any Vedic scriptures. It doesn't matter. Just by taking Charanamrit, that is why in most of the temples, Charanamrit, there will be a person who will be giving Charanamrit. That is very important. Just by drinking Charanamrit, he achieves the supreme goal. Automatically, such type of sukriti happens that he is given the chance to go back home, back to Godhead. And the supreme goal is what? Achieving Krishna Prema. Okay. If the verse is seen, then Pushpa Mataji, can you read the verse from everybody should try to read the verse and read the whole paragraph. Read the verse from the screen. Are you able to see the screen? Able to see? Or Aditya, you read the verse?
Mataji is chanting, but she is on mute, I think.
Achha, you're chanting, huh? Pushpa Mataji, unmute.
Yeah.
Read.
Hare Krishna.
Now only we are in
Atha
ecstasy just by hearing like
padayasvado
read.
yatha tatraiva न दानं न हवेशं स्वाध्यायपि पादोदकं पीत्वा प्रयान्ति परमं गतिम्. Tasting the foot water of the Lord from Padma Puran. Those who drink the foot water of the Lord achieve the supreme goal, even though they have not performed charity, sacrifices, Vedic study, or deity worship. Hare Krishna. Drinking Charnamrit is obtained in the morning while the Lord is being washed before dressing. Scented with perfumes and flowers, the water comes gliding down through his lotus feet and is collected and mixed with yogurt. In this way, the Charnamrit not only becomes very tastefully flavored, but also has tremendous spiritual value. As described in the Padma Puran, even a person who has never been able to give in charity, who has never been able to perform a great sacrifice, who has never been able to study the Vedas, who has never been able to worship the Lord, or in other words, even one who has never done any pious activities, will become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God if he simply drinks the Charnamrit, which is kept in the temple. In the temple, it is the custom that the Charnamrit be kept in a big pot. The devotees who come to visit and offer respects to the deity take 3 drops of Charnamrit very submissively and feel themselves happy in transcendental bliss. Hare Krishna.
just by drinking the Charanamrit, one attains transcendental bliss. Okay. Now, Naivedyam, Grahanam, Padya, Udaka, Grahanam, all these things we saw. Now, next is smelling the incense and flowers offered to the deity. Then when flowers are offered, they give na, then you take the smell. Atha deepa saurabhyam, yatha hari bhakti sudodaya, आघ्राणं यद् धरे दत्तः धूपोच्छिष्टस्य सर्वतः तद्भवव्याल दस्तानं नस्यं कर्म विशापहम्. Smelling the incense offered to the Lord. Generally, it's a very bad habit. People, what they do is they'll first keep in the nose. He wants to smell it. And then we offer, isn't it? There are so many bad practices. When they go to buy some incense stick, actually incense stick, it's not dhoopa, we should buy the dhoopa. But still people buy agarbatti. First thing they'll keep it in the nose. Which smell this is? You are not supposed to put it in your nose. First it should be offered. Many times I've seen in the shop, first they'll put in the nose. Ah, chandan ka khushbu aa raha hai. Let first Lord take, then you take. So it is a wrong practice. That is why incense stick should not be taken, because incense sticks is like you put some chemicals and then artificial flavors. The best is kand, dhoop, which is made from the gobar, and then you put in that loban and you put something camphor. That's how dhoop is made. So what we'll write for dhupa? So it is why in English it is written incense. But actually, what is the name? Dhupa. For dhoop, there is no other English equivalent statement. Incense, we say, incense means immediately we say some agarbatti. Agarbatti is the most obnoxious thing. Agarbattis are used actually in prostitutes' place. Agarbattis were introduced by Muslims. Our culture is dhupa deepa. It is there or not? Dhupa deepa. Dhupa comes from cowdung, gobar, cowdung. It comes from cowdung. And that is so pure. Now I went to Ahobilam, even like Ranganatha, like Srirangam. Here also, the first darshan is given is the back of cow. Lord loves mother cow. Lord loves to see the back of mother cow. That is the first darshan. Then horse ka mukhar. The water is brought by the elephant from Kaveri. And in Ahobilam also we saw the same practice. At least I saw these two. Elephant, I don't know, I did not see. In the morning I saw cow. They told me to go and worship also. They called some 2 3 ladies. Somehow I got the fortune. So that haldi is put in the back of the cow. And they make the cow eat something. First thing is kept. And the cow barabar eats and turns. First it eats like this. And when that altar is going to be open, nobody tells. Automatically it turns and shows the back. And at that time, they call some matajis and all to put the haldi kumkum. I was wondering, and they keep that something porridge they give. Monkeys are there, many monkeys. So first they try to come. Let's go out. And then dhoop is given. After the dhoop is given, that is given to everyone, so that the fragrance comes. The action of the nose smelling the incense offered to the Lord fully destroys the poison of karma inflicted on those bitten by the snake of material existence. Smelling the Lord's incense destroys the poison in persons bitten by the snake of samsara. It is the very form of destroying karma. Nasyam karma. Smelling the Mahaushadhi incense with the nose destroys one's karma. Okay, 162. Palash, you read the versa, Aditya, then Palash will read the paragraph.
Yes,
Okay.
Mataji.
1.2.162 अथ धूपसौरभ्यं यथा हरिभक्तिसुधोदये आग्रहणम् आग्रा आघ्राणं यद् धरेर्दत्त धूपोच्छित्तस्य सर्वतः
Aghranam. Aghranam.
आघ्राणं यद् धरेर्दत्त धूपोच्छित्तस्य सर्वतः तद्भव व्यालदष्टानां नस्यं कर्म विशापहम्. Smelling incense offered to the Lord, verse 86 from Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya. The action of the nose, smelling the incense offered to the Lord, fully destroys the poison of karma inflicted on those bitten by the snake of material existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Smelling the incense and flowers offered to the deity. In the Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, there is a statement about the incense which is offered in the temple. When the devotees smell the good flavor of the incense which is offered to the deities, thus they become cured of the poisonous effect of material contamination. As much as one becomes cured of a snake bite by smelling the prescribed medicinal herb. In explanation of this verse is that there is an herb found in the jungle which expert person know how to use to revive the consciousness of one who is bitten by a snake. Simply by smelling the herb, one becomes immediately relieved of the poisonous effect of the snake bite. The same example is applicable. When a person comes to the temple, when a person comes to visit the temple and smells the incense offered to the deity, he is cured, and at the time from all his material contaminations.
Okay. One minute. Mm, okay, contamination. Next verse. Next is also same only. 163, 164. Both will do it. Atha malya saurabhyam yatha tantre. Now, what was given? Incense. Now, malya. प्रविष्टे नासिकारन्ध्रे हरिर्निर्माल्य सौरभे सद्यो विलयम् आयाति पापपञ्जरबन्धनम् smelling the garments offered to the Lord. Verse 86 from a Tantra. When the fragrance of the garlands of the Lord enters the nostrils, immediately the bondage created by piles of sin is destroyed. That is why fragrant flowers are only first offered. Because when you remove also, fragrance comes. There is no smell in the flower only. After you try to take the flower smell, from where it will come? For Lord, only it is fragrant flowers which are offered. Jendu Bindu is not offered. They offer chameli, mogra, rose, not that rose. You see in Vrindavan they give that rose, which has a nice fragrance. And now when you just think that fragrance comes, then you have, what is it called? Shevanti, Ashtar, they all have fragrance except for Jendu. Generally, Jendu is not offered to Lord. It should not do it also. We have stopped in our temple, Jendu. Agastya Samhitayam cha आघ्राणं गन्धपुष्पादेर् अर्चितस्य तपोधन विशुद्धि स्यादनन्तस्य घ्राणस्येहाभिधीयते. So Agastya Samhita, it is said from the nose smelling flowers and gandha offered to the infinite Lord is a cause of complete purification in this world. So gandha, they offer the gandha and then they put in the cotton and offer, and the same cotton they apply in the hand when you take the smell. Isn't it? So that also should be very, very pure. So Anantasya in this verse refers to the infinite Lord. And this word is modified by Architasya, worship, worship. Architasya, Anantasya, Architasya. So Architasya means worship. Smelling by the senses, Aghranam, Granasya, the flowers and scent offered to the infinite Lord. Architasya, Anantasya are said to be the causes of purification in this world. So Archana is done for whom? That Ananta, who is infinite. Lord is infinite. Architasya, Anantasya, that is for our pavitrata, that is purification. Vishuddhi syad. Vishuddhi, Vishesha Rupena Shuddhi. Thus by taking the incense, the nose smells the incense which is offered, the gandha which is offered, pushpa which is offered, one gets the purification by which he can attain the goal of life, the supreme goal of life. Okay, two verses read and then Palash continue.
1.2.163 अथ माल्य सौरभ्यं यथा तन्त्रे प्रविष्टे नासिकारन्ध्रे हरिर्निर्माल्य सौरभे सद्यो विलयम् आयाति पापपञ्जरबन्धनम्. Translation: Smelling the garlands offered to the Lord. Verse 86 from a Tantra. When the fragrance of the garlands of the Lord enters the nostrils, immediately the bondage created by the piles of sins is destroyed. 1.2.164 अगस्त्य संहितायां च अग्राणां गन्धपुष्पादेर् अर्चितस्य तपोधन विशुद्धिः स्यात् अनन्तस्य ग्रहाणास्येहाभिधीयते. From Agastya Samhita, it is said that the nose-smelling flowers and gandha offered to the infinite Lord is the cause of complete purification in this world. Hare Krishna.
Any devotee coming into the temple should always offer something to the deity: fruit, flowers, incense, etc. If one cannot offer anything in cash, something else must be offered. In India, the system is that all the ladies and gentlemen who come in the morning to visit the temple bring so many things. Even one morsel of rice or even one morsel of flour can be offered. It is a regulative principle that one should not go to see a saintly person or the deity in the temple without any offering. The offering may be very humble or it may be priceless. Even a flower, a little fruit, a little water, whatever is possible must be offered. So, when a devotee comes to offer something to the deity in the morning, he is sure to smell the good flavor of the incense. And then at once he will become cleansed of the poisonous effect of the material existence. It is stated in the Tantra Shastra, if the smell of the garland which was offered to the deity in the temple enters into a person's nostrils, immediately his bondages to sinful activities becomes clear. And even if one has no sinful activities, still, by smelling such remnants of the flowers, one can advance from Mayavadi, impersonalist, to devotee. There are several instances of this, a prime one being the advancement of the four Kumaras. They were impersonalists, Mayavadi. But after smelling the remnants of the flowers and the incense in the temple, they turned to become devotees. From the above verse, it appears that the Mayavadis or the impersonalists are more or less contaminated. They are not pure. Hare Krishna.
So now, in India, what is the practice? Actually, that paragraph was that incense only. That 163 is the third paragraph. 164 is fourth paragraph. Okay. 162 is two paragraph. Yeah. So in India, nobody goes empty-handed. Generally, you should not go empty-handed. Something you should take in, some flower, something. You are visiting the Supreme Personality of God. No? Empty-handed going is not our culture. Something we should take and offer to God. Maybe one muthi, somebody bring some milk, some water, something should be given to Lord. That is why if they are not able to do, there is a system, there is a flower wala sitting outside. Nari wala sits outside. In South, this is the culture. You take the Archana Thali, you go, he will give you half back. Half Nariyal, he will tell you to take back and go. If they'll offer flowers, they'll give you one flower, you take back. So this is actually a very good culture. Outside the temple, there should be this flower wala, Nariyal wala. Because some people come empty-handed and just look at Lord and sit. So it's the wrong thing. Take something. We are not able to take something. Somebody comes directly from office, not able to take something. Archana Thali helps. That is how people do Archana. 15 rupees, 10 rupees. Archana Thalis and all are not very costly. Simple. Some flower and this will be there. In Nariyal is there, it will be costing something 20 rupees, small Nariyal. Every temple has. Every temple they do. You mean in our ISKCON temple, it is not there. Actually, we should start this culture so that nobody comes empty-handed. There are people who come empty-handed, look at Lord with empty face. So it should not be there. It should have at least some culture. That is why nectar of devotion should be studied. Prabhupada clearly says that in India the system is that all ladies and gentlemen who come in the morning to visit the temple, they bring something. One morsel of rice they'll bring. I see in Jagannath Devasthanam, there are Orients who come. What they do is they bring one lamp. They'll offer something. They'll bring. Oh, Jagannath, Jagannath, they'll do something. Something they'll bring. I see in very, very nice. They do very nicely. Touching the deity. Atha Shri Murte Sparshanam.
Mataji, one paragraph is pending, Mataji. Yes.
764 not read out, huh? Agastya. She read na pura.
No, Mataji. Last
Confirmed
one.
in Srimad Bhagavatam. I have to read.
Read. Agastya read.
It is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. One who has not washed of all reactions of sinful activities cannot be a pure devotee. A pure devotee has no more doubts about the supremacy of personality of Godhead, and thus he engages himself in Krishna consciousness and devotional service. A similar statement is in the Agastya's Samhita. Just to purify the impurities of our nostril, we should try to smell the remnants of the flowers offered to Krishna in the temple. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Now next. Next is touching the deity. अथ श्रीमूर्ते स्पर्शनम यथा विष्णु धर्मोत्तरे सृष्ट्वा विष्णोर् अधिष्ठानं पवित्रः श्रद्धयान्वितः पापबन्धे विनिर्मुक्ता सर्वान् कामान् अवाप्नुयात्. Touching the deity from Vishnu. This is the verse, it is this which has been described in Vishnu Dharmottara. The pure, faithful person who touches the deity of Vishnu becomes free from the bondage of sin and attains all desires. So this is the glorification of touching the deity for those qualified to do so. Everybody cannot do that. He should have qualification, not that it is given here, you will run inside the altar and touch the deity and come out. Only those who are qualified to do that. Only a Brahmana can do that. Brahman initiated devotee only can do. Nobody else has the right to touch the deity. Even the first initiation also, they cannot touch the deity. They can help in the altar. Okay. So read, and then Aruna, you read. Can you read the shloka, Aruna?
Mataji, I will try. Hare
And then
Krishna.
the two paragraphs are there for that.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. अतः श्रीमूर्तेः स्पर्शनं यथा विष्णुधर्मोत्तरे स्पर्ष्ट्वा विष्णोरधिष्ठानं पवित्रः श्रद्धयान्वितः पापबन्धेर्विनिर्मुक्तः सर्वान् कामान् अवाप्नुयात्. Translation: Touching the deity, verse 86 from Vishnu Dharmotra. The pure, faithful person who touches the deity of Vishnu becomes freed from the bondage of sin and attains all desires. Touching the deity. In the Vishnu Dharmotra, there is a statement about touching the lotus feet of the Lord. It is said only a person who is initiated as a Vaishnava and executing the devotional service in Krishna consciousness has a right to touch the body of the deity. In India, there was agitation during the Gandhi's politician movement because the low-born classes of men like street sweepers and chandals are prohibited, according to the Vedic system, from entering the temple. Due to their unclean habits, they are prohibited, but at the same time, they are given other facilities so that they may be elevated to the highest grade of devotional service by association with pure devotees. A man born in born in any family is not bad, but he must be cleansed. That cleansing process must be adopted. Gandhi wanted to make them clean simply by stamping them with a fictitious name Harijana, children of God. And there was a great tug of war between the temple owners and Gandhi's followers. But anyway, the present law is the law of all scriptures, that if anyone is purified, he can enter into the temple. Actually, that is the position. Only one who is properly initiated, who is properly following the rules and regulations, can enter and touch the deities, not all. And one who touches the body of the deities, following the such regulatory principles, is immediately delivered from the contamination of material sins, and all of his desires become fulfilled without delay. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Next is seeing the deity. But you know, in one place, There is a mercy which is flowing by Lord. Even though an unqualified person also can go and touch the deity. Which is that place? Can anyone say?
Pandharpur. Mataji, you're going to take us there.
Yeah, taking the yatra. But let it cool down. Now the summer will start, it will be too hectic. Now see the deity. Shri Atha Shri Murti Darshan. Pita Varahe. Varaha Purana. वृन्दावने तु गोविन्दं ये पश्यन्ति वसुन्धरे न ते यमापुरं यान्ति यन्ति पुण्यं कृतं गतिम्. Seeing the deity, 86th verse from Varaha Purana. O earth, Vasundhara. Vasundhara means, O earth, those who see Govinda in Vrindavan do not go to the city of Yama, but achieve pure bhakti, the goal of all. So Jiva Goswami's commentary, speaking to all people the glories of seeing the deity and speaking of all forms of the deities, the author overcome by ever increasing devotion, particularly glorifies seeing Govinda, Bhagavan, the most excellent form of the deity. Govinda is Bhagavan, who is the most excellent form of the deity. Bhakti is the highest goal of human life. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, Yatho Bhakti Radokshare Haituke Prapiyata, Yayatma Suprasidati, 1.2.6 speaks. Therefore, the wise consider bhakti to be the goal of all pious actions. Thus, punya kritam gatim, that means goal of all those who are punyas, actually mean bhakti, the final goal of punyas as understood by the wise. Yesham tantagatam papam jananam karma punya karmanam. We have this verse in Bhagavad Gita. Yesham tantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. When all his sins are done, then he attains punya. So which punya Krishna is speaking? Not the materialistic punya. He is speaking about bhakti. So papa or punya both are counted as papa only. Why? Punya gives us higher planetary systems. Papa gives us lower planetary systems. Anyhow, we are rotating in this material world only. But yesham dantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. That punya karmana refers to what? Bhakti. Bhakti is beyond papa, beyond punya. So punya kritam gatam gatim. Vishachakrati Thakur's commentary. The goal of those who execute pious acts in the phrase to attract the materialists, glorify bhakti for material results. The author will later explain the chief result of bhakti for those without material desire is attraction to the Lord in the form of rati bhav. So this punya is not having some material desire. Generally, materialistic punya is what? You do something, you should get higher planetary system, swarga. But this is beyond. That is known as bhakti. Okay, read the verse. And
1.2.1.
Pushpa, you read the. She can read the verse. Pushpa can read the verse and also read the paragraph. Unmute Pushpa, unmute. Haribol, able to do? You are able to unmute yourself?
Yeah. अथ श्रीमूर्तेर्दर्शनं यथा वाराहे वृन्दावने तु गोविन्दां ये पश्यन्ति वसुन्धरे नाते यमपुरं यान्ति यान्ति पुण्यकृतं गतिम्. Seeing the deity from Varaha Puran, O earth, those who see Govinda in Vrindavan do not go to the city of Yama, but achieve pure bhakti, the goal of all punya. In the Varaha Puran, there is a statement praising the seeing of the deity of Sri Krishna in the temple. A devotee says there, my dear Vasundhara, any person who goes to Vrindavan and sees the deity of Govinda Dev is free from the courthouse of Yamraj and allowed to enter into the highest planetary system in which reside the demigods. This means that even an ordinary person who goes to Vrindavan out of inquisitiveness and by chance sees the temple, especially that of Govinda Dev, even if he is not elevated to the spiritual kingdom, is still assured promotion to the higher planetary systems. This means that simply by visiting the deity of Govinda in Vrindavan, one becomes highly elevated in pious life. Hare Krishna.
Just by seeing the deities of Govinda in Vrindavan, one becomes highly elevated in pious life. That is the power of taking darshan of the deities. Actually, when we go to take the darshan, it is not we see, it is Lord who sees us. And in this way, he engages us. So, what is the meaning of Govinda? Why only Govinda has to bring to it? Mother Moon deities are also there, Gopinath deities are also there. Why Govinda is to it? Go means senses, Inda means giving pleasure. He engages our senses in the service of Krishna, in his service. That is why Krishna, Govinda. So just
Mataji,
by it is, yes.
okay, Mataji, you continue. I thought that you were starting new verse, so just wanted to ask question.
So now 167 will be doing that is. But
Yeah.
Govinda, why it has been specifically told? Because Lord engages our senses in Krishna in his service. That is what Govinda is. It's not that when you go to Shastri, you will not get that. He is Govinda. You call him Radha Ras Vihari, you call him Govinda, you call him Radha Raman, all his own name. But here
So
name
now
Govinda
सवाल पूछती थी
is in his service. He should engage us in his service. Observing Aarti and celebration of the Lord, 167.
Mataji,
First
I am
verse.
just having one question, Mataji, with regards to that verse. You have, told about BG Bhagavad Gita one shloka, no punyam, yesham punya gatam.
येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रतः. That is a verse. येषां त्वन्तगतं papam. Which is a verse.
7.28, हाँ 7.28. Okay, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
What is the last line? Bhajante mam dృఢవతః. That is how he gives the bhajan. That is why that punya karmanam is actually bhakti. Understood? You can correlate it.
Yes,
Observing
Mataji.
Aarti, observing Aarti and celebrations of the Lord. In the Skanda Puran, they, while I'm reading that, I should read here now. Arartrika darshanam yathas skande kotaya brahma hatyaram agamyagama दहति आलोकमात्रेण विष्णो सारार्थिकं मुखम्. To see Aratrika, who is calling bar. 1 minute. Seeing the Aratrika of the Lord, 87 words from the Skanda Purana. The face of Vishnu, lit by the light from the Aratrika lamp, burns up 10 million sins of killing Brahmanas, 10 million sins committed in the past and to be committed in the future. You know how one minute. I am in class. One second. This later. Let's wait. Yeah. So in the Skanda Purana, it is from the Skanda Purana, the face of Vishnu lit by that is why if you go in south also, The room is actually dark. When you go and take darshan, the pujari lights and shows. That is Pancharatrika Vidhi. Now, you cannot have a pujari in our temple to do this because ours is a preaching task, isn't it? That is why we on the electricity light. Well, electricity is the most obnoxious. We should not use it. But what to do? Ours is a preaching task. But in the south, you have a pujari who will show. When you go for archana, he will show. He will show the. You have seen, na? They will show with the lamp. That is how Lord is introduced. Okay, read 167. Aditya, you are only going to do 161, 168. I'll complete this also because I'm getting a lot of calls. उत्सवदर्शनं यथा भविष्योत्तरे रथस्थं ये निरीक्षन्ते कौन्तिकेनापि केशवं देवतानां गणः सर्वे भवन्ति स्वपचादयः. Seeing the festivals from Bhavishyottara, the dog eaters and other low persons who joyfully see Keshava on his chariot all become associates of the Lord. So the chariot, Ratha festival, represents all other festivals as well. All those who see the Lord of the chariot, and even those who are lowborn, have bad qualities, have bad qualities, become associates of the Lord just by seeing Lord in the chariot. Adi Shabdena Puja Darshanam Yathagneha 169 hits. Pujitam Pujamanam Ya Vaha Vayah Pashyed Bhaktido Hare Shraddaya Modamanas Tutso Te Yoga Phalam Tabe. So Adi, that means 87, refers to seeing the worship. He who sees the Lord with devotees, faith and joy, after he is worshipped on or while he is being worshipped, attains eternal service to God. So Lord is seen along with the devotees. When you say I love Krishna, that means I love devotees also. So Puyamanam means where the worship is conducted. Yoga means devotion in the form of service. Okay. So please read because I have just fatafat read it. But Prayagraj, this is there. Zoom it.
1.2.167 आरात्रिका दर्शनम यथा स्कांदे कोटयो ब्रह्म हत्यानाम अगमायग्म कोटयः दाहत्य आलोकमात्रेण विष्णु सारात्रिका मुखम. Translation: Seeing the Aratrika of the Lord, verse 87 from Skanda Puran, the face of Vishnu lit by the light from the Aratrika lamp burns up 10 million sins of killing Brahmanas and 10 million sins committed in the past and to be committed in the future. 1.2.168 Utsava darshanam yatha bhavishyotare rathastham ye nirikshante kautikenapi keshavam devatanam gana sarve bhavanti swapachadayah. Being the festival, verse 87 from Bhavishyotter, the dog eaters and other low-born persons who joyfully see Keshava on his chariot all becomes associate of the Lord. 1.2.169 Adi Shabdena Puja Darshanam Yathagne Ye पूजितं पूज्यमानं वा यः पश्येत् भक्तितो हरिं श्रद्धया मोदमानस्तु सोऽपि योगफलं लभेत्. The word Adi, verse 87, refers to seeing the worship as illustrated in Agni Puran. He who sees the Lord with devotion, faith, and joy after he is worshipped or while he is being worshipped attains eternal service to the Lord. Observing Aarti and celebration of the Lord. In the Skanda Puran, there is the following description of the result of seeing Aarti worship of the deity. If someone sees the face of the Lord while Aarti is going on, he can be relieved of all sinful reactions coming from many, many thousands and millions of years past. He is even excused from the killing of a Brahmana or similar prohibited activities. As we have already explained, there are different ceremonies to be observed, such as the birthday of Krishna, the birthday of Lord Ramchandra, the birthday of some prominent Vaishnavas, the ceremony of Jhulan Yatra with the Lord sitting on swing, and Dola Yatra, the Lord's activities in the month of March. In all festivals, the Lord is seated on a car, and the car moves through different streets of the city so that people may take advantage of visiting the Lord. In the Bhavishya Puran, it is said, in such a ceremony, if even a Chandal, dog eater, simply out of curiosity sees the Lord on the cart, he becomes counted as one of the associates of Vishnu. In the Agni Puran, it is stated, any person who in gladness sees the worship of the deity in the temple will obtain the result of Kriya Yoga, which are described in the Pancharatra scripture. Kriya Yoga is a system of practice, much like practical devotional service, but it is especially meant for the mystic yogis. In other words, by this gradual process, the mystic yogis are eventually elevated to the devotional service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So here we'll stop. And wonderful news for all of you. On Sunday, that is 23rd, Shiksha Guru, His Grace Kamalachan Prabhuji, is getting sannyas from His Holiness Veda Vyasa Priya Maharaj. Veda Vyasa Priya Maharaj. So all of you are invited at 10 o'clock at Mira Road Temple. So it's when many calls are coming. I have to make card. So many things are there. Prayagraj, Zoom meeting is also there. And I'll be sharing the card. I'm making the card for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Vanshakalpataruvyascha Sindhu Dev Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Vaishnavindiki Jai Shri Prabhupada.